Hi there. Okay, so we have discussed protecting your kids in your plan, right? What are the things that you need to check and make sure are in your will? And we've discussed power of attorney. Now we are going to be discussing in the checklist, do you really have a plan when it comes to your healthcare documents? So let's go through this, right? Your healthcare directive provisions. What is a healthcare directive? A healthcare directive is the one that essentially says who you are designating to make healthcare decisions when you are unable to, right? This could be because you fainted. It could be because you're under for surgery. It could be because you've lost mental capacity because you've been in a car accident and you have brain damage. It could be because you're experiencing Alzheimer's or dementia, right? There's lots of reasons that you are considered legally incapacitated to make medical decisions. It's not just being brain dead. Okay, all right, so let's go through this checklist. Number one, does your agreement, right, designate proper agents, at least one proper agent, and at least two alternatives? Why alternatives? As I've mentioned before in other videos, because people get sick, people die, people also become incapacitated. So you can't just rely on one person to be the one that can make decisions. You really got to make sure other people are there. All right, number two, let's talk about your living will. What is a living will? A living will is the one where you designate what you'd like to happen to you in the event that you have been designated to have a persistent vegetative state, you have a terminal condition, and these are different, or you've been diagnosed with a disease that is just the quality of life associated with that disease is something that maybe you don't want to have. Okay, so those three reasons are what gets discussed in your living will, and it's where we talk about, I don't want to be resuscitated, I don't want to have a feeding tube. But is that clearly spelled out in the documents that you have, right? Is it talking about hydration? Is it talking about nutrition? Is it talking about how you'd like your doctors to be involved? What kind of treatment you'd like to receive? Do you want to be given a bunch of antibiotics if you're in a terminal condition or in a persistent vegetative state? Those are the things, right, that you should be discussing with your legal advisor and making sure are included in your living will. And if they're not there, your living will isn't going to work. Okay, pregnancy provisions. Hey, if you're a woman or if you have a spouse who is a woman, this is something that needs to be there, right? Are there provisions for what should happen if the woman is pregnant and she's unconscious, sick, in any sort of a high risk environment where she can't make the decision for herself, right? And you got to think about the law and the legal changes recently, right? Pregnancy provisions, super important. Okay, organ donation, right? Do you want to donate organs? Do you not want to donate organs? Is this in your provisions? Is this stated clearly, right? This is your bodily autonomy. You get to decide. But if you don't put it down, others will decide for you. It's that simple. HIPAA provisions, right? Do you have a separate agreement, a separate document that says the healthcare provider can provide information relating to your medical situation, medical treatment, medical care, so that they can make those informed decisions? And also, do you have that kind of a release for medical information for your attorney or for somebody else to be able to make that decision as to, I don't know if they're quite sound about changing this part of their will or changing this other part of their estate plan? Like, does it provide authority for important professional advisors to determine if somebody's got capacity or not to make decisions, legal decisions, right? Okay. And then finally, again, do you have the proper people named? Are these people that you're naming people that can make tough decisions, that can set boundaries, that can ultimately realize that it's on them to make that decision? Are they willing to listen to physicians? Are they willing to listen to professional medical caretakers to make a decision about your care? This is really important. And have you designated, again, at least three, right? One to take over in the event of, and two alternatives because things can happen to them. This is essential. If these things are not in your healthcare part of the plan, if you don't have any healthcare part agreements and explanations, then you don't have a plan. So make sure it's there.